Hello YouTube. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at the episode The Stranger. Now one thing I do want to bring up for this vlog is that this show is no longer online. Yep, it was all taken down. Bummer. So, I have been restricted to now looking at vlogs on the show to help me out with my own vlogs. As you can see, this is a foolproof method. So, um, yeah, one thing I do want to bring up with this is that there was a slight problem. Now, there were only two vlogs I could really find on this one episode. One of them was only 3 minutes long, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get that in-depth of a look into what happens in this episode. The other one, which was completely out of order on what happens in this episode, was 13 minutes, and that was the one I decided to watch. And, like I just brought up, it's completely out of order, so my notes are the same. Um, it pretty much the guy who was vlogging on it, he pretty much just talked about Able and Tron's part of the story. Oh yeah, and Able and Tron are hanging out again. Yeah, because they met up once. They're best friends now, I guess. But, yeah, pretty much he talks about about what's going on with them first, and then gets on to what's happening with Beck and everything. So, I'm pretty much gonna have to go into the same order that he did with this. So, yeah, this might be a bit of an issue, so I'm so sorry. I really hope I can clear this up. But so far, it's pretty much just the out of order thing right now. I'm so sorry I had to do this, but, you know, I've been restricted to this, so, yeah, let's start off with with the episode The Stranger. So, in this episode, Beck is pretty much being sent out on a delivery from Able, and he's told, for whatever reason, to stay on the road. Why? It's not like they haven't gone off the road before. They do it quite often, actually. Even Able goes off the road in this episode, so why was this a restriction exactly? Anyway, that's a restriction for some reason, so now Beck has to go and get stuck in traffic. Real excitement there. So, yeah, he's pretty much just like, well, I could just wait around for the traffic to clear up, but there's a clean road right on the side over there. I'm just gonna go take the traffic. I'm just gonna go on the road. So, he gets out of traffic and jumps onto the road, and for some odd reason, none of the other cars that are stuck in traffic do this. Why? So, yeah, he gets off the road, but then the weather starts acting up, and he accidentally falls into this monolith. Yeah, don't think it's the monolith. Look it up. Really, just find this episode somehow. It's the freaking monolith from 2001. It is the exact same design. I don't know if this is just coincidental, or if they really wanted to make a reference to 2001 for some reason. Actually, now I think about it, some of the shots that they use on this show do resemble Stanley Kubrick works. Maybe the people who made the show were just fans of Stanley Kubrick, I don't know. So, yeah, he's thrown to this monolith where he meets the Stranger. We'll talk about who this guy is later. And this is pretty much where this guy goes off and starts talking about what's going on with Able, because, yeah, why, I don't know why this guy got off track with this. It's just like he just wanted to talk about what was going on with Able for some reason. Like, that's pretty much what took up the remainder of his vlog. half of the stuff was about Able, and then he just sort of skimmed over the stuff with Beck, which is really where the more interesting stuff happened, but I tried to let my memory fill in some of the gaps, and it kind of did, but I can't really remember the exact order, so I'm just going to have to go in the same order that this guy did. This is why I don't like doing this sort of method with this show, because they do cut around with characters. Like, on other shows, like Steven Universe or something, they will stay focusing on at least, like, one character most of the time, but here, that's not the case. And it's really annoying. So, yeah, this guy got pretty much all onto Able right now, so what's Able doing? Yeah, I know, I don't want to keep you in suspense about that anymore. Able, as it turns out, is going to meet up with Tron again. Why? Already gave him his power source. Did he already run out? Really? In the context of the show, this should have at least been a week. Does he really use up his energy that fast? Like, it only takes him a week to run out? That's kinda lame there, Tron. Either that or he's addicted to this stuff, I don't know. Is there a background story that we should be focusing on here? So, yeah, Tron meets up with Able, and they both meet up, and Tron is annoyed that Beck has not come in yet for his mission, which it turns out that Dyson is back in town because he needs to be back in town. So, seeing as Beck's not around, Tron pretty much says, "Hey, Able, got a free schedule today? No? Well, too bad. You're going to go do this mission for me. Have fun." So, he pretty much sends Able in as a worker to find out what exactly Dyson is up to, as it turns out that Dyson seems to be up to something involving a secret weapon. And what this weapon turns out to be is pretty disappointing. So, yeah, Able starts looking into it more, when Dyson starts to notice him and becomes a bit suspicious, but luckily this completely random guard Able knows nothing about comes over and saves his skin. Then Dyson gets even more suspicious of Able and decides, hey, I'm gonna go talk to you some more, because it's the end of the shift, and apparently him still being there is really suspicious for some reason. So, yeah, Tron comes in and saves Able, and they fight together a bit. Really wish I could have seen that. But, anyway, what is Dyson going to do? How is he gonna get out of this? Is he gonna fight Tron? Nope, he's just gonna escape like a coward. Reference to the Brave Sir Robin song in Monty Python and the Holy Grail inserted here. Yeah, so, and guess what he leaves on? The secret weapon. But how can he leave on a weapon? He can't, because it's not a weapon at all. It's a ship. This is why I said that this was going to be a disappointment. Okay, so it's just a giant ship. Yeah, you know those, like, square ships that they have, or, like, those more weird pixelated sea ships that they have? Yeah, it's one of those, except it's big. Ooh, scary. I'm filled with so much terror right now. What horrors will the ship unleash? Will it carry people around? I mean, like, how is this a weapon? Like, even Dyson putting a rope on his disc was a more intimidating weapon than a ship. At least there he could throw it, which he could already do, but Yeah, there we could maybe hit someone with a rope, with the ship. I don't know. What's it gonna do? Does it have like a gun in it? No, it's pretty much the same as all the other ships, except it's just large. Oh, the horror. So, yeah. So, it's a really big letdown to me. So, after that, we now go back on to Beck, or at least this guy who did the vlogs finally goes back onto Beck. I got really bored during those vlogs. Really annoys me how this guy jumped around. Why did this random guy jump around? So, yeah, what was going on with Beck this whole time? I really do wish I could address this in order. But what was going on with him? Well, he's still talking with a stranger, and somehow the stranger knows Tron. That's kind of cool. And yeah, how's he know him? We'll find out later. But outside of just knowing Tron, he also says that he's on Beck's side. He won't let him leave this monolith-like place. He's just saying like, yeah, I'm on your side. That's why you're trapped in here. But apparently they were both trapped in there as it's some sort of pocket dimension, which we don't know how this guy got in here. He just sort of did somehow. So, why put this pocket dimension in a completely random part in the middle of nowhere? Like this random ditch. That's really where this thing is. It's just like stuck in this ditch. Why? Like, whoever put him in there, they had to have had a reason. So, why not put him somewhere actually safe? Like, maybe put him somewhere where the person who locked him in there can monitor him. Why can't he do that? I don't know. Apparently it just didn't occur to him. So, the stranger also starts to reveal his big plan, which is to wipe out the grid so then he can save it. What? He's gonna kill the grid in order to save the grid? This doesn't even make any sense. This isn't even like a Kingsman plot. Like, we're there, at least they said, well, some of us can survive. No, here, it would just wipe out the whole entire grid. How will that save anybody? I don't know. He just apparently thought it was a good idea at the time. So, why he thought that, I have no idea. He just sort of does. So, yeah, it turns out that Beck is also a power source. So the stranger straps him down to a chair, because that's the ultimate way to charge up his giant machine, I guess, strapping down someone to a chair. That'll work. And the stranger also shows Beck that he was the original renegade. How is he shown this? By doing that. A T appears on his arms. Beck doesn't have that. If anything, Beck could just think that he was a really big Tron supporter, but no, apparently this insane guy just saying that he was the original renegade truly means that he was in fact the original renegade, and that Beck should now be weary of what Tron says. Oh no. So, yeah, Beck eventually does get out of his chair. Him and the stranger start to fight, and it's eventually revealed that the stranger is in fact Cyrus. What's that? Don't remember him? Well, let's go back all the way to, which episode was this in? This is well, this is irritating. Okay, go back some more. Okay, he was from episode 10. Yeah, okay, so he was from episode 10 where in all those flashback scenes, remember that? Remember how a guy saved Tron and we didn't know who it was, and eventually they revealed his name being Cyrus, and like remember how I said um that has no meaning to us because, well, we have no idea who this guy is or what he's going to do. He hasn't appeared in any other media form, so saying this is completely pointless because we don't know what he's going to do. Like, just saying, like, Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars and them being like, dun dun dun. Like, we wouldn't know what that would mean if they said that in A New Hope. Empire Strikes Back, then we would understand it. But in A New Hope, it would make no sense. That's pretty much what they do here. Yeah. Just like that. Just like Cyrus was supposed to be intimidating, and what did he turn out to be? Some nut job inside of a monolith. Monolith? Yeah. I don't know why I can't pronounce that right. Isn't that terrifying? And he apparently has a giant machine. Ah. So yeah, eventually Beck does escape the monolith and ends up destroying it. And then it just goes back to Tron, and then Tron pretty much asks, where the heck were you all day? For some odd reason, Beck says he just got lost. Don't want to fill him in on this? Well, he does sort of fill him in, kind of subtly. At least enough for Tron to realize who, like, what Beck really did that day, but why not just tell him straight up? If we're gonna fill him in subtly, why not just tell him straight up? Like, really, what's the point in that? So, yeah, how is this episode gonna end? With Cyrus crawling out of the broken monolith. Oh, wow, it's shock. I'm so surprised that this happened. I never would have expected this. Yeah, who didn't expect that ending? Really, even my first time watching this episode, I expected it. And yeah, okay, the way they shoot it, it does look kind of cool. But yeah, if it weren't for the kind of cool direction that they did for it, it would have probably just been another, meh, okay, what's he gonna do? He doesn't have anything else left to do. The entire planet is in the wind now, so he can't just rebuild his machine. I don't know, maybe. Frankly, this character only has one more appearance after this, so I don't know. I don't remember watching that episode. Does he rebuild the machine in it? Mm. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happens in this episode. There's some pretty cool things in this one, like for one, seeing Dyson again. That's pretty cool, and also seeing Able and Tron fighting side by side. That's pretty cool, and I do like seeing them teamed up and everything. They work off of each other well. They really are sort of an interesting dynamic. Um, but that's not really what I liked about this episode. What I really do like about this episode is the stuff with Cyrus and the stuff with Beck. That stuff is really what got me interested. Even my first time watching this episode, I really did enjoy that. Like, the design on Cyrus, for one, is really cool. He has all these white lines on his face, like his sort of energy color is white. So he has all these cool white lines on his face. Somehow his skin tone changed. I don't know how that happened. Maybe Tron burnt him at one point. I don't know. So, yeah, he has all these cool white lines, and they really do bounce off really well. That's like one of the main things I remembered about this character was like all those cool white lines stretching all across his face. How that happened, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see. So yeah, there are a lot of cool things with that, and I do like seeing how there was another renegade, and it really just leaves it open for what happened to him. Something that I think they did want to explore more in season 2, but there's never season 2, so they can't really do that. But what they really do with this, they get so imaginative with this world that he inhabits. Um, like he can even walk on walls and everything. It is so freaking cool. And the world that he lives in, it's just huge. It's like all stuck within this monolith, and it's just huge. And it really leaves it open for them to have a lot of fun with the imagination aspect in it. And everything in it looks really awesome. It just looks really great. So, inside the monolith was great. Seeing everything in there, that was really cool. And I have no idea how Cyrus really got out, though. Like, the monolith was destroyed. Did that mean that he can get out now? Or what would happen if it was completely destroyed? Like, if it was burnt or something? Does that mean that he would have never been able to escape? In which case, why didn't the guy who made it do that? Like, why don't the guy who locked him in there decide, I'm gonna burn this? And just, like, have a lot of people around or something, just in case this all goes bad, or maybe having, like, this very sealed off room, so then, just in case something goes wrong, you could just take him out really easily and stuff. Or just get his disc and steal that away from him for a few hours. He'll forget who he is. He'll forget his freaking name if you do that. I'll just delete some of the stuff on his disc. There were a lot of other ways around just locking him in a monolith in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and also leaving him with enough machinery to create a doomsday device. Who left him with that? They kind of imply that it was Tron who did it, but why? Why would Tron do... I really have a lot of questions about this. Like, it really does leave you open for whatever happened to him, and you want to find out. Um, I don't really remember them explaining it, but again, this character has another appearance I haven't seen, so I don't know. Could explain his whole entire backstory in that episode. I have no idea. But yeah, this episode is really cool. For the guy who did the vlog on it, he said it was really slow to him, but I think that this episode was fine. And again, I'm sorry that this thing was out of order. Blame the other guy, whom I don't know whatsoever. His YouTube channel had the word wolf in his title, I think. So yeah, blame him. Just gotta stick with that. Just blame him. So, yeah, I guess for some people they can find this one kind of slow, but for me, I thought it was really great. Um, the image of the stranger really did stick in my head for a long time. Like, after watching that one episode, after watching this one when I was younger, it really stuck in my head. Just like the image of the stranger, it really stuck in my head. And I think that in leaving that much of an impact, I think that does mean at least something was done right for it. So, yeah, I think that it did really good in its execution. Not as great as some of the other episodes, but hey, they still did leave it open to interpretation, and you really have no idea what happened to this guy, which is kind of an interesting idea. I do want to find out what happened to him, so yeah, that's pretty much it for it. If you want some mystery in what happened to this person, if you liked the character Cyrus from that whole, like, 2 minutes he had in episode 10, um, and you want to see what happened to him after, or if you maybe just want to see Able and Tron team up, or see Dyson again. I don't know if we want to see Dyson again, but yeah, if you want to see Dyson again, he's here. So, there's something for you. So the next episode is going to be tagged, and I will see you in that one. Bye.